We are back at Slider Games with another Warhammer 40,000 battle report. Today we have a 1250 point Tempest of War mission. We're using the new Nephilim rules for our CP and all that exciting stuff. We have today drawn Take and Hold, so that's the basic standard match play primaries. You get 5 points if you control one objective, an additional 5 for controlling 2, and then 5 more if you control more than your opponent. We have this Crucible of Battle deployment over here with the corners, and then we have Chilling Reign, so there are no additional rules for this. In this game, my Tyranid Hive Fleet Baraxas is attacking this Imperial world where the Cadians have been training a local PDF to maybe start up their own Imperial Guard regiment. The Tyranids are over here. We've got this objective in the Tyranid home deployment zone. Then we have 3 objectives kind of right down the line here in the center for the neutral ones, and then behind that red cargo crate thingy there is another one that will be in the Imperial Guard deployment zone. But that is our battlefield here for this 1250 point game, and of course in charge of the Canadian I almost said Canadians. Canadian Sergeant Steele here, everybody. Yes, Cadian Sergeant Steele. Yeah.
Hey, you're not the first one to do that. Actually, the Lookout Sir podcast called me Canadian Sergeant Steele, and I was just about to reach through my phone and slap Dan from their podcast for doing it, because he kept saying it. He said it 4 times over.
Yeah, you're not from Canada, to my knowledge. Do you have Canadian ancestry?
No, but my wife's family is from Canada.
Oh,
so
yeah. Okay, it works to a degree then, I guess. All right.
It kind of works.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask this now, and we'll probably discuss it at the end. But what are your thoughts, having never played with the new Nephilim CP rules? What do you think? How are they good? Are they bad? Are you waiting to see how it plays out?
So with an 8th edition codex, let's preface it with that as a card player, right? I'm looking forward to it. I don't have the same tricks and the same tools as everybody else, although the War Zone Octarius book and the Greater Good book have both definitely buffed the guard and given us some options. I think currently as guard stands, just as a guard player, it's good. And I'm going to enjoy trying it out. I'm starting this game, we'll go over in a moment once you see my list and my selections, with very minimal CP, but I feel like with getting them on my turn and your turn, right? Because guard player, I'm going to use take cover, I'm going to use things like that. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a game balance, going to reduce alpha strikes. I think people are going to feel better, and there's going to be more action later in the game.
Yep, I agree.
My prediction. I don't know. We'll see if you table me by turn 2. My prediction is more action across more of the game.
Yeah, I think you're right. I like the idea of it weakening alpha strikes by reducing your starting CP total, and you still get in a bigger game like this over 1,000 points. You start with 6, and you'll end up with actually only 1 less than you would with the old rules. So not a huge difference, and it kind of nerfs the alpha strike, which definitely will help an 8th edition book like Imperial Guard.
Yeah, and then you know what? It makes a difference with your pregame selections. Like suddenly, as a Cadian player, me using the white shield stratagem is a big deal for like 3 or 4 blobs of white shields. I mean, I lose 33% of my CP just to give a few 5-up ballistic skill models some better order response, right? So it's a big deal.
Cool. Yeah, I'm excited to try it out. Looking forward to it. Let's take a look at the armies. This is exactly 1,250 points of my custom Hive Fleet Baraxas. We follow the Kraken, or a Kraken Splinter Fleet, I guess is how you would say that for Hive Fleet. So we get an additional AP -1 on charges, and I have Augmented Ferocity as my secondary Hive Tendril trait, so I get +1 to my charge rolls. My Warlord today is a Neurothrope, right here. He's got Catalyst and something else. We'll cover the psychic stuff whenever we get to it. He does have the Warlord trait, which I paid for 1 step ahead, so anytime my opponent uses a stratagem, I roll a d6. On a 5-up, I get a command point back. Then we have a Broodlord over here. He has the relic, the Yumgarl factor, so he can get +1 attack, +1 strength. I'm sorry, +1 attack, +2 strength, or +1 toughness in the fight phase. Behind them, we have 3 units of Tyranid warriors. The unit here on the left has dual bone swords and death spitters. They also have adrenal glands, so they get +1 movement and +1 strength, which puts their bone swords up to strength 8. Pretty sweet. Then we have another unit with Death Spitters and Bone Swords, except one has a Venom Cannon. They do not have adrenal glands. And then finally a third unit with Devourers and Scything Talons. Behind them we have 2 squads of 10 Gene Stealers with a couple Acid Maws in each unit. A big blob of 5 Zoanthropes. They're going to be very, very dangerous in the Psychic phase. And then finally a Trigon, not upgraded to a Prime. He is a fast attack selection. And I did pay 25 points, I think it is, for Dermic Symbiosis. So he has a 4-up invulnerable save. So that is my list, exactly 1,250 points. Let's look at the Guard. This is also exactly 1,250 points of Imperial Guard. Tell me what we got.
All right, today the Cadian 707th is back, and we are rocking a battalion along with a Lord of War auxiliary. So to start with, though, we have a tank commander in an HQ slot with Multi-Melta's Last Cannon and Demolisher Cannon. He also has a heavy stubber, but I left it at home. So let's just pretend he's got that down inside the turret there, and he's going to lift it up and fire it every once in a while.
Yep.
So no other upgrades, really. That's just what he's doing. With him, though, my other HQ is my company commander, and this is my warlord with the bolt gun and the chain sword, which are now free upgrades.
Very nice.
And has the grand strategist warlord trait, so this way I can reroll 1 to hit, to save, or to wound roll, and to also get my CP back on a 5-up, especially in this CP hungry game that we are playing. And in an elite slot to support my company commander is my platoon commander. So he's there, and he's got the Tactica Pax Cadia Relic, which means if I use those Warzone Octarius stratagems, they're 1 CP less if they target a Cadian unit. So that'll be really nice. And because so much has changed with Guard, we have a really strange list today that I'm going to try out and have some fun with. Next up is a company command squad with a regimental banner, a Foxcaster, and a medic, and then a last gunner. Why? Because it's all free now.
It's free, so why not?
It's free. So 25 points. I get +1 leadership. I get to bring a model back on a 4-up, and I get range on my orders. So this will be fun. To support them in my infantry slots, I have 4 infantry units, all loaded out exactly the same. Bolt gun on the sergeant, flamer, Voxcaster, chainsword as well, also on the sergeant. So they're all the same. And then we have a 4th unit. The 4th unit's actually over here because it is riding in our large transport, we'll get to in a moment, with 3 special weapon squads. And today I've gone with Plasma Melta Plasma for the special weapon squads. So we'll have a whole can of a lot of infantry all inside the Crassus armored transport.
Oh yeah.
Now this is big, because as of today, this is post the second quarter updates.
Yep.
So I now have a 2-up armor save, armor of contempt, and also it was cheaper for me to bring this in a detachment now with the Nephilim match play rules changes, because we were doing match play today. So we are going to try this out. It is armed with 4 heavy bolters, and we are going to drive across the table in absolute madness. We have 2 chimeras as well, all heavy bolter loadouts as well. And then the last thing we have in the list is a Basilisk with full payload. Now, I know this is the Armageddon pattern Basilisk, but I'm actually running it as a standard Basilisk. I'm just doing Rule of Cool today.
Yeah.
I brought the cooler looking model.
Looks sweet.
Because I do believe if you interpret the rules literally, you can't give an Armageddon pattern full payload because it is not the Basilisk unit. It is the Basilisk keyword, but it's not the Basilisk unit. So just in case anybody gets is wondering about that for the rules.
It's just fancier. It
Yep.
looks cool.
So this is 1250 exactly, and I gotta say, I'm looking forward to this. This is one of 3 lists I was debating on bringing today, but I decided infantry inside of big metal cans.
Yeah. We like to crack cans open and eat stuff, so let's go to deployment. Deployment has concluded. Tyranids, Hive Fleet Baraxas, moving in from the wastelands into the city. If you saw our last battle report, this is kind of a ongoing story here as the Hive Fleet is attacking this Imperial world. We had, I actually played a very similar list, and I made some questionable choices in deployment, which may or may not have swung the game in a certain direction. But anyway, so I'm trying to play a little bit more conservatively than I did in my last game, but we have a squad of warriors back here. This is the Venom Cannon squad on our home objective. The Scything Talon squad is in a position to run up onto this neutral objective early in the game. And then we have our Adrenal Gland, squad of warriors, the Zoanthropes and the Neurothrope all here in a pretty safe area for line of sight blocking. On the first turn, right up at the edge of my deployment zone. And then the Gene Stealers and the Broodlord are all clustered up here behind this building. Also trying to stay out of line of sight, but a few stragglers are going to be able to be seen. But they're able to deploy just over 9 inches away from the enemy deployment zone. So that is what we're doing. So the idea of the swarm is moving into the city to consume biomass indiscriminately. And we are moving up to take on the city's defenders. What do we have for the Imperial Guard?
All right, for Guard, we're primarily vehicle deployed. It's mostly mounted infantry this time. We have an infantry squad here inside of a Chimera, which has a little bit of line of sight already to the Gene Stealers there, and a tank commander hidden underneath the Arc de Triomphe, which we will be victorious today. So this is a good omen.
Yes.
Our Basilisk is, as normal, back here in the corner. With a Crassus stuffed full of almost the rest of my entire army is inside of here. Everything, if you notice so far, I'm really hugging the board edge, right? I'm trying to stay away from the middle of the board turn one, so I can hopefully, just in case the Nids go first, I can avoid some charges and don't have to see how good of a can opener you are.
Yeah.
We got an infantry squad here on my one deployment zone objective, and an infantry squad and a Chimera here. So that's it for Guard deployment. We have nothing in reserve, so it's either in the Chimeras or in the Crassus.
Yeah. So yeah, I imagine they got word from the other guardsmen that were hit by the Hive Fleet, and they are rolling into the city to meet the threat. And some of it has just breached the walls of the city, and we are here. But it is match play, so we'll roll off, and the winner has to go first. I feel like I actually want to go second in this scenario, simply because I want you to be closer to me. And
yeah, you do.
Most of your stuff can't shoot me right now, even though you do have some indirect fire and some juicy stuff like that, but we do need to roll off. Oh, I'll also mention, I forgot to say, my Trigon is in reserve. He can go underground and pop up as if deep striking. So I will let you roll first, sir, to see who gets to go first.
Here we go. Cadian Sergeant Steel die. Can you help me get turn 2? Oh, no!
That's a 6.
Can you tie me, Jeremy?
I cannot tie you. I did my best. I got a 5. So it will be Cadians first. They will get to do some shooting and hopefully get a little bit closer to the Tyranids. Let's take a look at the objectives for the Imperial Guard. The company commander has issued some bold orders to his Cadians. Attempting target, I get to select a unit in no man's land that the Cadians have to get to. I chose one that was really far away that they can't possibly reach this turn. So they also got secure no man's land, which is hold any 2 objectives in no man's land. Also going to be extraordinarily difficult. And then they drew battlefield supremacy as well, which is hold their home objective. And, well, just hold any 3 objectives, I guess, technically. Also very difficult. So paid a command point to ditch battlefield supremacy and drew assassination. So kill the Broodlord or the Zoanthrope. Or, I'm sorry, the Neurothrope. Let's take a look at movement. We are about to go into the shooting phase proper for the Cadians. A couple things I do want to mention. Synaptic Imperative is Predatory Guile from our Broodlord, so everybody gets light cover, basically, for this battle round. And I did actually, with my one step closer, with my Neurothrope, got a command point back whenever the Cadians ditched their order and drew a new one. So I'm actually up to 6 command points because I also got one in my opponent's command phase. Exciting stuff.
Oh, these new rules.
Yeah, very exciting. All right, so I'm up to 6. But what are we doing with your movement here?
All right, so what have I done? I've shifted this unit around a little bit to make sure I'm screened out in the back corner from the Trigon. Basilisk stays still. The Crassus did move up just a little bit, just a wee little bit. And one unit disembarked from it, along with the platoon commander, who's hiding here in the corner of the Triumph.
Oh, yes.
The Arc de Triomphe.
There we
go. So this unit's here. This Chimera has moved up, not to really get within range, but to just be strategically ready for turn 2.
Yes.
And same with the Chimera over on this side. It is also strategically moved just a little bit, just a few inches forward to get some range and to hopefully get to this objective turn 2. Tank Commander has stayed completely still because moving him would put me within range of charging.
Yeah.
And I don't want that. So he's just going to hang out until you start pushing towards the middle of the city here.
Yeah. Theoretically, the Brood Lord and the Gene Stealers will expose themselves to fire eventually. He could have moved forward like 2 or 3 inches and been able to shoot back onto my home objective, but the risk didn't seem worth it with the onslaught and all that kind of stuff, advancing and charging. Fun stuff like that. And you issued a couple orders as well?
Yeah, I've also used a stratagem. So in the movement phase, I used shock troops onto this troop unit here. Normally that's 1 CP, but because the platoon leader's out, he's within 6 inches, and he's got his Tactica Pax Cadian relic, that was free. So they count as having remained stationary. And then in the beginning of the shooting phase here is where we're at now. We've ordered this unit, first rank fire, second rank fire. We're going to try to obliterate those Gene Stealers there. And then the tank commander ordered the Chimera gunner's kill on sight.
Reroll ones? Is that what that one does?
It's reroll 1, so despite it having moved.
Yeah. All right, so we'll go into shooting and see some Gene Stealers get blown off the board. Kicking it off with 30 las gun shots from this squad into the Gene Stealers.
Yep. Here we got 30 because we have 1 model out of rapid fire range, so here we go.
Let's see. After rerolls, there were 6 auto wounds and only 5 misses, so we got rolling to wound here with the remainder.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Ooh, let's see. That was 18 wounds. We also threw in the flamer and the bolt pistol, or bolt gun, excuse me, as well. So I have 4 up saves because of my predatory guile. They have light cover for the shot. Need 4s. That's a good chunk of dead Gene Stealers. There's 6 failed saves in there. Actually rolled pretty well. 4 Gene Stealers left, but the Crassus can still see, firing in 12 heavy bolter shots. Is that what it is?
Yes, I'm firing in 12 because I have 4 heavy bolters on the Crassus. No heavy stubbers. So here we go. We are fishing for 6s here, everyone.
Not any 6s. Okay. It's less good than last time.
No, that is actually not great. Yeah, we only got 4 hits.
Okay. Need 4s to wound?
Strength 5.
Strength 5, yeah. 3s.
3s, so 3 wounds.
AP -1.
-1, flat 2 damage. Doesn't matter though.
And it was 3? Alright, so 3 5-up saves. I make 1. I lost the
2?
other die.
You make 2?
Oh, I made 2, okay.
Yeah.
Only 1 more dice. Sweet. We got 3 Gene Stealers left. Both of the Chimeras fired. This one fired into the wounded squad. There's now 1 Gene Stealer left over there. He is fearless because he's within synapse range of that Broodlord. This one fired in, killed 1 out of this unit back here by the crate. And last thing to shoot, the Basilisk firing all the way up and over to my home objective to try to knock these guys out, which would be pretty devastating because then I have to divert something back here if I want to hold my home objective.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see it.
I'm going to roll right in front of them so they can watch their own demise. So 2d6 take the highest number of shots. 6.
That's pretty good.
That's a good start.
Pretty good.
Now I didn't do any stratagems, no fire reload or anything. But here we go. Hitting on 4 is rerolling 1 because we are not impacted by the new artillery rules.
That's right.
Oh, no 6s.
No auto wounding.
But
rerolling
that 1.
that.
Oh.
Still no auto wound. Okay, 2.
2.
These are toughness 5.
Strength 9.
Okay.
So wounding on 3s. Oh, 2 wounds.
2 wounds.
Okay.
AP minus
-3.
-3, so it's minus. I am considered in cover.
Yep.
I'm in cover anyway. So -2 effectively. They have a 4 up. I think these are 6s. We'll roll these. I don't make a 6. And that it's flat 3?
Flat 3 damage.
Okay, so that will kill 2 of the mighty Tyranid warriors on my home objective. And the turn isn't over. These brave, heroic Cadians are selling themselves to charge into this lone Gene Stealer. They need an 11.
I'm confident. Because Cadia stands. Oh!
An 8. Do you want to re-roll it? You could spend another command point and be down to like 3 or something.
No, not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
Okay, so the charge fails. That is the end of the turn for the Cadians. So they've done some damage. There's only one Gene Stealer left over here. Half of my Gene Stealers total have been killed because we lost one in the other unit. And then I'm down to one model on the home objective for the Tyranids. Let's go on to see the orders from the Hive Mind. The Hive Mind wants Baraxas in the enemy deployment zone. We need to capture the enemy outpost, which is seize their home objective. Behind it, enemy lines get 2 units wholly within the Cadian deployment zone, which we could probably do that with the Broodlord and those Gene Stealer units. And then assassination, just kill a character or the Warlord. I actually spent a command point to ditch Bring It Down, which was the Crassus. I think I can probably kill it eventually with psychic stuff and things like that. But with 20 wounds, 2 up armor save, toughness 8, armor of contempt, it's going to take me 3 or 4 turns to do that probably, and I don't want to just hold that objective that whole time. So let's go on to Tyranid movement phase. Movement has concluded for Hive Fleet Baraxas. Did a lot of advancing. This squad advanced, they rolled a 6. They're all the way up here. So they're actually in range to shoot at that Chimera. Back here, our lone guy stood still on his objective. This squad also advanced and got a 6, coming around to the middle of the battlefield. I actually spent a command point on opportunistic advance on the Zoanthropes, so they got to move an extra 8 inches. And I rolled a 6 on the Neurothropes advance as well. So they're all up here in the center within smite range and that kind of cool stuff. That's when the advancing started to go less well for me. This little lone Gene Stealer did not advance. He just made a regular move there to the center of the battlefield. Advanced with this other squad, rolled a 1. So they swung around the backside to go this direction. And then my Broodlord rolled a 3 on his advance, and I was like, I'm going to send him this way and charge into the characters over there. And then I was like, no, I'm going to gamble and re-roll that. And I rolled a 1 after spending command points, so then he ended up coming back here to kind of protect himself a little bit more. So we will go right in to the psychic phase. I'm going to start with Catalyst from my Neurothrope into the Zoanthropes. Oh, and I'll note the Neurothrope gave his buff, I can't remember what it's called, to the Zoanthrope, so they get to roll 3d6 when they smite. And he gave his buff to this squad of Gene Stealers, so 6 is to win for them, do an extra AP if they get into combat. But we're going to go with Catalyst first. I need a 6. Neurothropes get +1 to cast, so I need a 5. That is an 8, I think. Yeah, 8. So Catalyst is on the Zoanthropes. He is not actually within range to smite or anything, so we'll go into smiting with the Zoanthropes, which will hit the infantry squad there. So I get to roll 3d6 and pick any 2 die. So I'm actually going to pick the 1 and the 6, because 7 plus 5, because I get +1 to cast for each model in the unit, is a 12. So it is a super smite, but it's not a double 6, so I don't perils myself. So this is d6 plus 3.
Oh no.
For 8 mortal wounds on that infantry squad. So 8 of them evaporate, their minds explode. And then the last thing I'm going to do, I'm going to cast Onslaught onto this squad since they advanced. Need a 6. So that goes off with a 6. So this squad of Gene Stealers can now charge after advancing. Let's go to some shooting. After Psychic, we did some shooting. Both of these squads of warriors fired in. They fired into the Chimera, did nothing. Only 2 of them were left in range after the smite explosion killed 1 more of the guardsmen up here in this group. And that was all the guns that I had in range. So now we're going to the charge phase. I really have been kind of debating. The plan now is they have a 10-inch charge, because I get +1 to my charges, into the Chimera. If they can make it in, then I can just do a really short charge with him to get him into the enemy deployment zone. That would get me behind enemy lines. But if they don't make it, then I may just go for the glory and charge the platoon leader with that lone Gene Stealer. So let's start here. With Onslaught, they advanced and can now charge. They need a 10. Oh, that 4 almost turned over. Okay, I'm going to command point it.
Oh?
I'm going for it. This is for points. If I can get this, I can get 5 points. That is a 9. Okay, so lost a command point. Don't make it in. This guy is going to charge the platoon leader. I think this is also a 10.
10. Yep.
That is also a failed charge. So no charges for the Tyranids. That will conclude Battle Round 1, and neither one of us scored any secondary objectives. So on to battle round 2 and the new objectives for the Cadians. We are at the end of the movement phase, into the shooting phase technically, with some orders issued for the Cadians. So what is the plan?
All right, we're really aggressive. We'll actually start at the front of the battle lines here. This Chimera has moved up its full movement, so we're just a little bit shy of that objective marker, but we're going to put some pressure on these warriors. We're going to see if the last guns, and I'm testing this theory out, right? Can my transport help me control the battlefield? Let's see what happens with that.
Right on.
In the middle, this is where all the good stuff's happening here. 2 plasma special weapon squads hopped out of the Crassus armored transport, along with a command squad, along with the company commander. And they're all taking aim. Every unit here is taking aim. And then the Crassus itself moved up within an inch, or just outside of an inch of that Gene Stealer. The tank commander moved out his full movement 10 inches. But then we did shock troops and got the cost of it reduced by 1 thanks to platoon leader's relic.
Yep.
So he now counts as having remained stationary. That'll be awesome for my shooting. Platoon leader then issued the order of first rank fire, second rank fire for this unit that disembarked from the Chimera and then moved up to get into rapid fire range of the Gene Stealers, and their Chimera has come up with them as both moral support and just in case we need to put a little tread action over top of the bodies. Yep.
Very nice.
That's it.
Yeah, these guys in the back stayed still holding that home objective. Basilisk obviously doesn't need to move. I will note the 1 Cadian that was alive in that squad did flee in the morale phase.
Oh, yeah.
And I selected Goaded to Slaughter, I think is what it's called, for the Synaptic Imperative. So if I do get into combat this turn, which I'm very close, so hopefully things are alive to do that, any 6s to hit explode for an additional hit for the Tyranids. So let's go on to some shooting. We're starting the shooting with the important stuff. Company Commander firing his bolt gun into the lone Gene Stealer in the middle of the battlefield.
It's unacceptable that thing is alive, and he wants to take it out after getting the radio call of hearing other Cadians being slaughtered across the planet.
Those are 2 hits. Nice. And that's an auto wound.
Yep. Then to wound here, strength 4.
Toughness 4. So 2 wounds.
2 wounds.
These are 5 up and vulnerable saves. Ooh. I could spend a command point, but I'm not going to. So Gene Stealer is dead. The little rocket shell that fires out of the bolt gun slammed into his torso, and he just exploded. There's Gene Stealer gloop all over those plasma squads now. Okay, let's see what's next. There's been quite a bit of shooting, actually, and quite a few dead bugs. The Chimera, with its heavy bolters and las cannon array, killed 2 warriors over here. Coming around this direction, this squad that jumped out of the Chimera over here killed the Gene Stealers, and then this Chimera took 4 wounds off of this guy. 4 hits and 4 wounds with its heavy bolters. I even spent a command point to reroll one of the failed saves. Still failed, so my Broodlord is down to 3 wounds each. Or 3 wounds total. I don't know why I said each. But now, Tank Ace firing everything into the Zoanthropes.
Yep, so here we go. We're going to start out with Demolisher Battle Cannon. 2d6, because I count as having remained stationary. So we'll shoot the Demolisher Cannon twice. Here we go.
And you can re-roll those.
Ooh, I'm going to keep both.
Yeah.
That's above average, so I'm going to keep that. So 8 shots. Hitting on 3s, re-rolling 1s.
2 auto wounds?
No 1s. These 2s miss.
2s.
And these hit. Okay, strength 10.
Yeah, wounding on 2s.
Okay.
I think they're only 4, but definitely not over 5.
Okay, so 3 more wounds.
So 5 wounds.
Yep.
5 4-up invulnerable saves for the mighty Zoanthropes. And that is 3 fails. Okay. How much damage are they?
D6. So here's where things get really swingy. First one. 2 damage. And
so
you have
2 5-up catalyst saves. Yep. I say 1. So 1 is down to 3 wounds.
Okay. Next one. Oh no!
For 1.
Oh no!
Still at 3 wounds.
And the last one. Oh, sorry. I think I was going off the table.
For 6.
Hey!
That's better.
Okay.
I need to grab another die here. So we've got 3 wounds to get through. I need 4 5s here to keep all of them alive. I get 2. Okay, so you kill 1 zoanthrope with the battle cannon.
Okay. So then we're going to go into the multi-meltas. And well, I guess we'll do last cannon. So let's do last cannon real quick. Last cannon real quick. It missed with a 1, but I'm going to re-roll into a 1.
Nice.
And then I forgot my stats for multi-melta. I think they're 2 shots each.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so it'd be 4 multi-melta shots. Thank you, Space Marine player.
Space Marines, yeah.
Helping me out with that. Okay, so hitting on 3s. The 2 is just a permanent miss.
No auto wounding.
Strength 8's wounding on 3s.
2s or 3s. We'll double check. Let's see what we get here.
Check. Okay, so
it's
just
either way, 2 of them.
2 wounds.
2 4-up invulnerable saves. Which I make 1, fail 1. So that's D6 plus 2.
Ooh, I don't know. I am not in Melta range.
So just another D6 damage.
First one, 3.
3. Okay, so it won't kill this guy. 5 up. It takes no damage. All right.
Oh no, the next one's a 2.
Okay, 2 damage on 1.
So I want to follow this up by saying what I said to Jeremy was before we started recording. This was either going to end with me feeling extreme guilt, or with me laying down on the floor and crying. So I'm hoping he's going to cut out the video here.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. That was, Catalyst was big. All right, so they have survived. We lost 1 zoanthrope and 1 is down to 2 wounds. The Crassus has fired into the zoanthropes as well. 4 wounds got through, so I need 4 4-up invulnerable saves. Which I fail 3.
Ooh.
Okay, so these are 2 damage each. So I gotta do these one at a time. So 5. Okay, so he's down to 1 wound. Okay, you kill the wounded one, and then 1 more.
1 more, yep.
2 damage. No, that's 4 damage. No, I'm sorry.
No,
that's 2 damage. Yeah, 2 damage. Yep. Okay, we got it sorted out. So another one falls, and another one is down to 2 wounds left. We remembered there's a heavy stubber on the tank commander, so it fired in. Took another wound off, actually, so there's 1 on 1 wound, 2 at full health. Now our front plasma squad is firing into the zoanthropes.
We are overcharging!
Yeah!
Alright, here we go. So each different color dies, a different model. So first unit firing their plasmas overcharged. With take aim, mind you. Uh-oh, not great. We did get 2 ones. We got an auto wound.
Nobody dies.
Okay, nobody dies. And then roll these to wound. We need 5 or 3s.
Yep.
Okay.
So 4 wounds.
4 wounds.
With the plasma.
With the plasma.
So 4 4s. I got 3 4s.
Wow.
So that's 2 damage?
So 2 damage, so then 2 5-up catalysts.
Need them both. Okay, the one that was on 1 wound is dead.
Okay, and then here's 4 last gunshots. Okay, 2 hits. And then 5s. 1 wound.
4 up.
Got it.
Okay.
And then we'll do the same thing with the squad behind him.
Same thing with the squad behind. There are 2 left on full health.
Yep, except we'll get 1 less last gunshot this time, but we'll get there in a moment. Okay.
There's a 1, 2 auto wounds. Another auto wound.
And then we
6.
need... Yeah, we need 5s. Or no, 3s.
3s.
Sorry, 3s. Oh, so yeah, wow.
6. Yeah, 6 4-up saves. Here we go. 6 4s coming up. That's not good. That's 4 are through. These are 2 damage each.
2 damage each.
So I can actually roll the first 2 simultaneously because there's a guy with 4 wounds. So even if I fail them all. Alright, so he's got 2 wounds. And that was 2 of the 6. So 2 more. He's alive on 1 wound. He is dead. And there are 2 left. So again, I can do all 4 at once. And he dies too. No 5s rolled.
Oh my god.
The zoanthropes are dead. The last shots rang out. Some las guns from the... What's that? Command squad? Is that what they're called? Yep. Fired in, took a wound off these Tyranids. The Basilisk fired up and killed this last Tyranid warrior back here. So, coming along, we're going to have a charge. The Chimera is going into the Broodlord.
I believe I need a 9. Let's see what happens.
That is not a 9. Do you want to spend a command point on this?
I am.
Oh.
This is important because it forces you to have to fight something rather than you getting to pay.
Go in and slaughtering the infantry squad. That is a 9. Looks like we got a good charge here. We are in combat. The Chimera swung, nothing happened, so the Broodlord is striking back. With the Umgarl factor, I chose to boost his strength by 2, so he is strength 7, so he'll wound on 4s. With my goaded to slaughter, any 6s to hit, explode, hitting on 2s, wounding on 4s, re-rolling all wounds because he's a Broodlord, and 6s to wound are AP minus 5. So let's roll some 2s. Okay, no 6s, so no explosions. These are wounding on 4s. So that is AP minus 5. So that one goes straight through for 2 damage, and then these ones will be with Armor of Contempt, only AP minus 2. So
but you get to reroll that 3, don't you?
Oh, I do get to reroll that 3. Good call. Yep. Okay, right. Still nothing.
So 3 5-up saves. Oh dear.
So you take 8 damage.
Oh, that's not good.
8 damage has been done. And that will conclude. There are no morale checks or anything to make at this point. Down to 3 wounds left on the Chimera.
It might actually only be 2. I think it only has 10 wounds.
10 wounds, okay. But yeah, so nothing else. That's the end of the battle round. Still no secondary objectives have been scored this game. So I don't think I mentioned it at the beginning, but all of the objectives were the same for the Cadians. We had Tempting Target, which was this objective they didn't get to. Then you had Assassinate, did not kill the Broodlord. And the other one was, what's your other one?
My other one is also
secure
no man's land.
Yes, so that's it. Control 2 objectives. So they control 1, but needed to get 1 other objective. So we will go on to the Tyranids. Turn 2. Movement has concluded for Hive Fleet Baraxas. We did score 5 points for the primaries on our home objective. The Imperial Guard actually scored 5 for primaries last time as well. I don't know if we mentioned that. Making it 5 points to 5. Neither of us have scored any secondary objectives yet, and I may not score any again this turn. So basically, Broodlord stayed in combat. The plan here is to smite this thing to death and then charge. Smite and charge. Neurothrop advanced over to here in synaptic link range with everybody. He gave himself warp siphoning, so he gets to roll 3d6, and through synaptic link range, he was able to give his buff to this squad of Tyranid warriors, so their 6s to wound will be an additional AP minus 1. And over here, our Venom Cannon is still chilling on the home objective. He actually has a target. He can actually shoot down into that Chimera this time. And then finally, the Trigon has come in to take out this unit back here on the home objective of the Cadians. I thought about bringing him in over here actually and just like really pressing this one side, but if I can get rid of that unit, that will force things to have to move. What I really want to do actually is kill those guys and then eventually tie that thing up so it stops shooting me. But I'm down to 7 models, so yeah, we'll see how it goes. Let's go to the Psychic phase. In the Psychic phase, first thing I did, spin a command point on Power of the Hive Mind, so my Neurothrop can now cast 3 powers. We're going to start with Catalyst on the Warriors. Need a 6. +1, that is an 8 technically, so the Warriors have Catalyst. He's now going to Smite, which will hit this thing. Need a 5. That goes off with an A9 technically, so I need D3 mortal wounds.
1.
That is 3. So
it's not a 1.
Does it explode?
Come on! Please explode.
It explodes.
Yeah!
That's not what we wanted to see. So you get D3 mortal wounds on the Broodlord. This could throw everything way out of control.
Oh!
He's alive on 1 wound. Okay.
I'm not rerolling that either.
All right, 1 wound left on the Broodlord. Whew, that was a wild ride. Okay, so we're going to do Neuroparasite on the back unit of Plasma Boys over here.
On the back unit?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think this is a 7. That's a 5. Let me check and see if that's a 6 or a 7 to cast. I forgot. It is a 7 to cast, but I have Warp Siphoning, so I should be rolling 3d6. Okay, so that goes off on a 10. So they are neuroparasited. How many guys are in this squad?
6.
6, all right.
So it's these 3 here and then these 3 here. Yep.
So I need 6 die, and on any 4s, the unit takes a mortal wound. So it just has to exceed their toughness. So that's 5 mortal wounds. Sweet. Okay. That was good.
Ouchies.
That was good. And then the last thing I'm going to do is the Broodlord is going to cast Synaptic Lore on this squad down here so he can reroll charges against them. And that goes off. So he'll be able to reroll his charge into those guys. Okay, so the Psychic phase went pretty well other than the tank exploding. Okay, let's go into some shooting. We've done a little bit of shooting. This guy fired his Venom Cannon in, took 2 damage off the Chimera. The Trigon actually fired his Bioelectric Pulse. He killed 1. I rolled, I think, 6 2s and 1s to hit over there. It's kind of a sad story for his Bioelectric Pulse. But now, the Tyranid warriors are firing into the command squad, and 2 stratagems were spent to protect them. What did you spend again?
I used Cadian Stands from the Rising Tide of Terry's book. So that'll give them +1 to their save. And then I used Take Cover to give them another +1 to their save.
Right. So these guys have Strength 5, AP -2, 1 damage weapon. So basically back to AP 0. We got 9 shots hitting on 3s. Okay, that was better. That was better. And these will wound on 3s. So that's 5 wounds, AP 0.
Okay, 5 ups.
5 5s. You save 2. Ooh. 1 person is left alive in the squad. Who will it be?
The medic.
The medic stays.
Shall remain alive.
All right. That is the conclusion of the shooting phase for the Tyranids. Let's go on to charges. We have come to the charge phase. So we're going to start with the Trigon. So he has an 8-inch charge into this. I get +1 to my charges as part of my Hive Fleet adaptions. So I need an 8 over there on the far side. That is a fail. Well, that's very cocked. I could roll a 6, I guess. Ooh, I did. I will... Yeah, I'm going to spend the command point. Need an 8. That's in with an 11. Okay, so he made it with an 11. Next, we're going here. We're doing a multi-charge into both of the squads here, the plasma squads. Do you want to fire Overwatch?
That's what I'm debating on. I can either fire Overwatch here, or I can do it here, right?
Yep.
And I feel like I'm more likely...
He only has 1 wound left.
1 wound left. All I'm going to do here is mitigate damage. So go ahead,
okay.
Good sir.
So this will be a 6 because of the guy in the second squad. That is in with a 9.
Woo!
And then, so that was a 9. I'm going to mark these down so I remember. And then this guy is charging in. It is, because of our Hive Fleet adaptation, it's a 9-inch charge. So get some dice and we'll fire some Overwatch. Kicking it off here with the heavy bolter, or just, I'm sorry, the regular bolt gun, sorry, and the las guns firing in. We're saving the flamer for last if it's necessary.
So here we go. Heading on 6s.
These are auto wounds as well, right?
Those are auto wounds, yep. So the bolt gun did not wound at all. These are just las guns. And then here we go. D6 flamer shot. 5. Okay, here we go. I need 5s and 6s to wound.
9.
Nothing.
So 2 saves. I think he has a 3-up armor save. I'll double check that, but let's see. All right, I need to check. I know he's got a 4-up invulnerable. Let me double check and see if he's got a 3-up armor. His armor save is a 4. I have to command point this, or it's 5 points for assassinate. For the Hive Mind. No. Okay. So the Broodlord dies to Overwatch. 5 points for the Cadians for assassinate. So that is a sad Broodlord. This is where the Trigon is after piling in. 12 attacks, hitting on 3s. And I did charge, so these are AP -4 because of my Kraken abilities. And 6s to hit explode because of goaded to slaughter. So I rolled 3 6s, so that's 3 extra.
Oh my goodness.
And then I did miss 5 times though. So 3 of those misses just become hits. I'm going to reroll one of these with my prehensile tail. Still missed. Okay. So that was pretty good still. And then these are strength 7, so 2s to wound. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Which there are 9 in the squad. AP -4.
Oh.
So I think he just had some lunch.
I brought dice. I didn't need dice.
Because he shot 1, his 9 AP -4 wounds go through and kill them all. At the end of turn 2 for the Tyranids, my warriors killed both of those squads, tagged the tank commander. He fought back, no damage was done. So at the end of battle round 2, it is 10-5 in favor of the Cadians. They got 5 points for assassinating my Broodlord in my own turn. It was pretty rude of them, if you ask me. But yeah, still no secondaries for the Tyranids. I have 1 unit wholly within the enemy deployment zone. These guys are not in it yet. I'm actually right now contesting this objective, though, so I'll prevent them from scoring those 5 points for the primaries, but they will still get these 5 points for the primaries. So at the start of the Cadian turn, it will actually be 15-5. But I'm going to go ahead and drop my objective to take their home objective because there's just no way. I'm not going to leave him on there. He's going to hopefully go mess up a Basilisk on my next turn if he's still around. So that is the conclusion of battle round 2. Let's see the new orders for the Cadians. After assassinating the Broodlord, the company commander says, deploy the teleport homers for some reinforcements to come and help secure this battlefield. Movement and orders have been issued for the Cadians. We will note they got 5 points for the primaries because the Trigon was contesting that objective with the Crassus. These guys held this one. I will note I also spent a command point on, had to double check, Synaptic Legacy is what it's called. So at the beginning of the battle round, if my warlord's on the battlefield, which he is, I am able to select a Synaptic Imperative from a unit that's been destroyed. I selected the Zoanthrope's Warp Shielding, so my warriors now have 5-up invulnerable saves. So we've got some orders. What orders are issued and what's happening over here with the Cadians?
Yep, so we did a little bit of movement. This squad stayed still. Platoon commander came over next to him. Tank commander fell back. And then with orders, he's not doing the orders, but during shooting phase, he's going to deploy well, he is doing an order, but not to himself. He's deploying smoke. They're doing first rank, second rank fire. The Crassus came back to get within charge range of the Trigon, and it's been issued from the tank commander, Gunner's Kill on Sight.
Gunner's Kill on Sight.
Ooh,
sweet.
I actually can't do that because it's a Titanic unit.
Oh.
So don't let me cheat you, Jeremy.
Yes, right. I was about to bring that exact point up.
Yes, you cannot order Titanic units with it. Okay, so then over here, the company commanders issued take aim to the Melta squad, which disembarked from the Crassus.
Yep.
The Armageddon pattern Basilisk has stayed still.
Chilling in the backfield.
The squad is disembarked from their Chimera to hold this objective, and its Chimera itself is also driven up. It is on the edge of your deployment zone line, and I'm hoping in the following turn to skedaddle on in.
Yeah. Deploy a teleport hammer. So you will score. Cadians are going to get 10 points for secondaries. They're going to get the tempting target over here. And being on that objective and this objective in No Man's Land, they will secure No Man's Land. So the Cadians are scoring, and the Tyranids are running out of bodies. Let's go to shooting phase. This little guy right here survived the heavy bolters from the Chimera. The squad back here is out of range. I actually had to spend a command point to reroll a save to keep him alive so that I could score 5 points on my primaries next turn. Then in the middle, these Tyranid warriors, I spent a command point. I think it's Adaptive Hive Node or something like that. It reduces all damage by 1 when the Basilisk fired in. So they only took 1 damage from the Basilisk. This whole squad fired into them, though, did some damage. Took a guy out. And then everything else basically fired into the Trigon. All the Meltas over here actually ended up missing or not wounding. And he's down to 5 wounds left after heavy bolters and crazy stuff like that. But now, the Crassus is backing up into the Trigon violently. So you can't fail the charge, actually.
Nope, can't fail, so beat, bugger.
Yeah. Going in. Do you want to roll it just to see? I don't know that you would even want to go any further, actually. But
supreme charge range. I got a 3.
Okay, perfect. Just what you needed.
Oh my god.
All right, and you're spending a command point?
1 command point in the charge phase for Crush Them.
Crush Them. Do I get a CP back? For my 1 step ahead, I do. It puts me back to 2 CP. But this violence is about to erupt in the backfield here.
There we go. We are in melee.
All right, it's official. Melee has been engaged. How many attacks does this thing get with Crush Them?
6 attacks.
It would hit on 2s, but because of his serpentine coils, this will hit on 3s.
On 3s. So here we go. 6 6 attacks. Hitting on 3s, no rerolls.
There's one miss. That's pretty good. 6s
right.
do not auto wound in combat, so
I'm winning you on 4s. I think I'm actually going to command reroll.
He's going to command point reroll the miss. It works. All 6 hits.
Wounding you on 4s.
I see 4.
4
at AP.
-2.
Okay, so these will be on his 4-up invulnerable save because of his dermic symbiosis. I saved 2, failed 2. How much damage are they?
D3.
D3, so you could kill him. He's got 5 wounds left. Actually, I take it back. I want to command point one of these since I just got a free command point. Didn't work. Okay.
Okay.
2d3.
No!
That is 4. He's got 1 wound left.
1 wound remaining.
The mighty Trigon yields to nothing. We are at the conclusion of Tyranid's turn 3. We shifted basically our Tyranid warriors and our Neurothrope this way. The Neurothrope advanced 6 inches, smited and neuroparasited into the squad that was here. Then these 2 guys shot them and killed the remaining, charged the platoon commander, killed him in combat. That got me assassinate. Them being they're now behind enemy lines, as is the Trigon who fell out of combat just so he wouldn't risk dying. So that got me 10 points on secondaries, and I got 5 points for the primary down there for a total of 15 points, putting me at 20 total for the Tyranids. And the Cadians currently are sitting on 25. With that, they're going to score 10 points for their primaries, and with only having 5 models on the board, the Tyranids are going to concede at this point. The Tyranids came rumbling into this city from the wilderness out here, springing a 2-pronged attack on another outpost of the Cadians elsewhere on the world, and have been rebuffed from the city. The armored infantry moving in, steadily advancing, pushing the Tyranids out, and forcing them to withdraw. So the Tyranids have conceded today. This is a victory for the Cadians. I really thought that was a good game. Obviously, it ended in turn 3. I just ran out of bodies. I don't think we were talking off camera. We always do this. So, like, what could have been different? What could we have done better? I don't know, again, that I would necessarily change anything. My Gene Stealer's missing their charges, and the Broodlord dying in Overwatch. Those were the big things. My Gene Stealers and Broodlord just couldn't get into combat. My plan, ideally, was, so I had my Gene Stealers and Broodlord hiding behind this building. They're the first wave. They come in, smash into stuff, tie stuff up, while the Warriors and the Zoanthropes and Neurothrope advance in behind it and then can support with fire, firepower, and psychic abilities. And when all the Gene Stealers whiffed, that just left everything exposed and spelled disaster for the Tyranid options. And once I ran out of those bodies, then I had to start sending, the Warriors did great, actually. I mean, they started all the way on the backside of this building, came through, killed 2 plasma squads with shooting and melee, came up, killed the platoon commander, another squad, tied up the tank commander. They were definitely, and through all that, I only lost 1 model, so that was, they were huge. That was great. I'm not sure I would have necessarily changed anything, because the idea again was press in with the Gene Stealers, which would compact the Cadians back into this corner. What other things filled in, and I can hold, some objectives up here to get 10 or 15 points on primaries each turn. And it just did not work out. The dice were not in the favor of the Tyranids. How do you think it went?
Well, surprisingly well for the Cadians. And it was, I got to tell you, the pivotal moment from the Cadian perspective was the midfield.
Yes.
When the tank commander essentially whiffed and shooting the Zoanthropes.
Yes.
And then, but the 2 plasma squads overcharging, not even losing a model.
Nobody died. Yeah, that's the first time I think I've ever seen that happen.
Yeah, I brought 2 of those squads and almost didn't bring them, to be honest. I wrote several different lists, and I had intended to bring Psychers or Bullgrins, and so they would have been cut. But those 2 units with the overcharge and stuff, and finishing off the Zoanthropes was just phenomenal. I mean, that changed everything for me, because then my armor wasn't threatened.
Yep.
You couldn't just delete any infantry unit you looked at.
Yeah, which they did earlier.
Yeah, so it was good. It was a fun game too. I struggled a little bit. I didn't bring any reserves or deep strikes, and so when I was drawing cards, like I needed to get to your deployment zone or I needed to get to the midfield, and I conservatively deployed too.
Yep.
But I brought vehicles and transports, so it was nice and fun because I had to always think like, well, I need to just keep moving. Like every turn, I got to be able to go at 12 inches, 10 inches. And get to the next thing. It was great. I tried out that new relic too, the Tactica Pax Cadian.
Yeah, that was cool. That saved you 3 or 4 command points.
Several command points in it, so it made a big difference in this new CP mechanism in match play now. So it was fun to try out different things. The Crassus has returned.
The Crassus.
And for those who may not have seen...
Oh yeah, we did a battle report on your channel.
Yeah.
With the Crassus.
We've had, you've been on my channel once with
my Tau.
Your Tau.
Yep.
And we are awaiting the return of that, but I'm slow paying terrain and I want to do a very specific mission.
Yes.
So anyways, just to summarize and not spoil that report if you want to go watch it, the Crassus didn't do that great. And so I'm trying to bring it back out with the balanced data slate updates. And I had fun with it. It was great. I feel like it was enough of a just kind of a beast, a burden to deal with that you just didn't focus on. Yeah,
I didn't want to. 20 wounds, 2 up save, armor of contempt. Like I could have killed it maybe. Like the first turn we were talking about. Also, like our secondary objectives were not good, and both of us spent a command point and threw one out and still couldn't score in our first battle round because I drew, bring it down, which I had to kill this. Obviously, turn 3 I've done a total of 2 wounds to it. So I could have held on to that and still not scored it. But yeah, it's one of those things where like 9 heavy bolter shots it gets? As 12 heavy bolter shots. I mean, that's 12 shots, 2 damage, strength 5, 2 damage, AP -1. That's pretty good stuff actually. And it's just not worth, throwing everything I have to try to take it out. Especially, I don't have anti-tank in my list. My psychic is my anti-tank. So, and then these warriors over here with the adrenal glands, they have strength 8 swords. So maybe them a little bit. But other than that, and a lone venom cannon, that's really not going to do a ton, D3 shots. I don't have anti-tank to deal with something like that. So taking out the zoanthropes, they would have been my answer to it because I can run them up. They're doing essentially D6 plus 3 mortal wounds every time they smite, plus the neurothrope smiting. I mean, I could definitely take it out if I had that opportunity. But yeah, the turn when you took out the neurothropes, and you took them out even without. My hope, best case scenario, was you would have to fire everything into them to kill them, but you killed them and still had your basilisk left to shoot. So that was
brutal. A big deal.
Yeah,
and the balanced data slate changes for Guard have been everything. Like the auto wounding on 6s, honestly, it feels ridiculous. Sometimes it's so effective. Other times it doesn't do anything.
Right. Yeah.
When it is effective, it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Armor contempt now, 2+ saves on my tanks for most of them. Right.
Yep.
These are all huge changes that drastically shift our guard play. And now it also feels a little bit strange, other guard players out there, because we get so much free war gear now.
Oh yeah.
It feels like we're almost playing with power level. I had trouble writing a 1250 list.
Yeah,
because I couldn't tweak the points.
You don't have, you can't. Your upgrades are all free.
Yeah,
so.
my tank commander was like nearly the only thing
I could
tweak
variable
points or.
Yep.
So it was great to try all this out. I haven't played a game yet with all these big changes that have happened over the last month until now. And so this was a lot of fun to try it out. And I think everything I did, the Chimeras, the Lehman Russ, the Crassus, special weapon squads, the command squad, it got murdered. Okay, fine. But the command squad, right? 25 points. I had a ton of cool stuff in there.
Yeah, that was sweet.
And it was so much fun to try it out.
Yeah, absolutely. That was great. And quickly, your thoughts on CP updates. How do you think that went?
I like it.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
Yeah, it's a little more bookwork, right? Like you and I were both going over to our die or our books and we were writing stuff down, flipping over die and so forth. But at any moment, I felt like I could react.
Exactly.
I could do take cover. I could do Overwatch, and so it forced me to do different early game things, but it felt good as the game went on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm really a fan.
I thought it was great. And yes, that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that one. Oh yeah, you have YouTube and Instagram, all that fun stuff. There's a link in the description to this video. Cadian Sergeant Steele, check out his stuff. And yeah, if you want to watch another Tau battle report of mine, you can go to his channel and see it there as well. I had a lot of fun. Did you have a lot of fun?
I had an absolute blast. I'm loving your Tyranid army. I'm the paint job, the basing, the style of play. I love it, and I cannot wait till the day when I put 150 conscripts in the trenches and you run over the walls and you eat them all.
Yeah.
The day's coming.
Yes, it is. I'm building and painting more as we speak. So more bugs are soon to come. But thanks again for watching. Really appreciate your support. Like, subscribe, comment, check the bell icon. All those YouTube keywords that people say in their videos. But thanks again for watching. Have fun.